Hey, my name is Dan, and this is Making Games Poorly, the show where I take a good game and try and remake it as quickly and lazily as possible. This is my really strange way of familiarizing myself with Unity, and potentially teaching some of you some stuff along the way. It's like we're both learning. I don't really know what the format of this is going to be since I came up with the idea earlier today, but hey, let's see where it takes us. Also, this is my first endeavor into Unity properly. I've made shallow attempts before, but I'm an okay programmer, so that's the extent of my knowledge and training. Anyway, without further ado, Pong. Pong is one of the earliest arcade video games. It is a table tennis sports game featuring simple two-dimensional graphics. The game was originally manufactured by Atari, which released it in 1972. Alan Alcorn created Pong as a training exercise. Obviously, the first step is to make a new project, and populate it with the Pong assets that you made in 30 seconds in Photoshop. Little background, little blood-splattered rectangle, little unhappy rectangle, little square, and BAM! You're making Pong, baby. After getting the assets in there, I made prefabs for all my game objects and made a game manager to, manage the game. This bad boy will store all the information about the players, the ball, the game world. You name it, it's managed. After dragging and dropping these prefabs in to be referenced, obviously the next step is to get some movement. To do this, you gotta get your rigid body, and then start doing some other stuff. And by other stuff, I mean creating a 2D vector with the x-axis zeroed out and the y-axis contingent upon vertical input. And then setting the velocity of the object equal to the movement vector times some input. Side note. I have no fucking idea when to add a force or just manipulate the velocity, because when you add a force, things becomes floaty and weird, but I don't know if this is the best practice or dumb. It felt better to me, so that's the way I'm gonna do it, and this is my show, and nobody can tell me what to do! Alright, do the same thing for player 2, but instead of looking for vertical input, we check for horizontal. 'Cause we're lazy. Great, so we're moving. This is some hot shit right here. We're basically done, right? Wrong! Did you even think about the ball, you dummy? You stupid? Typical. All we gotta do is add a little scripty boy to get it to move forward. Basically just putting some forces, moving it to the right. Make sure you put the right variables in the right methods, or the compiler's gonna have a bad time. Regardless, with all this in place, we should have a ball that moves to the right. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Lazy boy tip. Make use of the physics by making a physics material with the bounciness of 1 and dropping that thing right on your ball's rigid body. Balls. This will handle most of your physics interactions and angles and bouncing stuff, so we like that. Also, detect some collisions so you know when to switch up your direction. Make sure that you are using the right amount of dimensions for your collision so you can reference it properly. I find that checking collision by tag is super simple and works for me, so that's what I'm doing. Let's see if it works, shall we? Oh god. So it seems like we're going to need to constrain the forces acting upon the ball. Let's add a conditional and make sure the velocity of the ball is less than a random number I pulled out of my ass. And adding forces only on positive initial direction. While you're at it, make some walls with colliders on them so that the ball doesn't shoot off into space when you get that sweet angle. And with that, we have Pong! Kind of. We have moving paddles and a ball that bounces, but where's the glue holding it together? How do we keep track of score? How do we know when to spawn a new ball? Well, the answer is... Game Manager! To do that, make an empty game object, make a new script, and add some variables for the things we want to keep track of. I think most importantly at the moment is the boolean saying whether or not there is a ball in play. We're going to check that as the game is chugging along, and when we destroy a ball, we check it to pop in a new one. We're also creating a ball holder variable that holds a clone of our ball. We don't want to be manipulating the object itself, but an instantiated clone. It's just better. Don't question me. If this is not better, please let me know. And let's just give her a quick test. Oh. I don't think we were setting the variable we were checking after we instantiated the ball. Whoops. Moving along, we check to see if anyone has won. We haven't really defined what that means, but we'll get back to that later. The next step is to check the positioning of the ball to see if it has moved past the paddles, which is actually pretty easy thanks to the easy access Unity provides to these sorts of variables. Hey, sponsor me, dudes. We're just checking the X position of the ball and a position near the paddles. You see the plus or minus 2, that's because I wanted it to be slightly behind the paddles, not exactly on them. Or else it looks weird when the ball despawns and spawns again. So if it gets to these points, the ball holder is destroyed, the player who scored gets their score variable incremented up, and the ball gets spawned in again as a clone in the ball holder variable. This next bit with the UI stuff is kind of boring, so I'm going to speed over it. One thing I ended up doing is instantiating the paddles like I do the balls, so I'm not interacting directly with their game objects themselves, but rather a clone. Then, all I did was add some score text and a game over thing, and boom! Done! We have a super shitty version of Pong. Woohoo! Now all you have to do is sit and wait for it to build, sit back, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Fuck. Hello, this is Dan. I am the guy who made the video. My beautiful fiance is eating shawarma right next to me, and it's very distracting. But if you like the video, hit that subscribe button. What are you doing, dummy? Leave a like. Drop a comment. If you can do it better, let me know. Because I suck. I suck at this. So hit me up, fam. Send me messages. Leave some love. Be ready for episode 2! It's gonna be fucking sweet.